So here's a semi-random Warframe video. Not a build for once. Fashion framing. What is this horrible mess in front of you, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. This should be something different, actually. So the trick with this is glaringly ugly, I know. the Skittles approach here. This is something I developed back in Neverwinter Nights. Shout out to the 2003 PC crowd. Because Neverwinter Nights had a very similar thing where you had color channels attached to, it was supposed to be leather 1, leather 2, cloth 1, cloth 2, cloth, but modders and stuff tended to start really getting ambitious with what they use those for. So basically, in order to make sure your stuff matches, you can set your colors up like this. Don't worry, energy I find they're usually pretty consistent about. Now, if we go over here, Lava's done a whole lot of things, but you can start seeing that could be used, for instance, that's the base Lavos helmet. If I wanted the helmet to basically have a completely separate color to the rest of his outfit, otherwise you might say, hey, that doesn't match the rest of his outfit at all. It's going to look very odd. They have done this thing there, they're kind of annoying, where they've got little random stripes of seemingly almost every color channel shoved through the torso, which I never like. This, for instance, you can see that the red's going to have to be the same color as the beak. So if we're trying to match with the prime skin, we've got to worry about the jacket. The prime helmet, it's a little more naturally, though it does have this weird red chunk in it. I think I've never used that helmet in all of existence. I don't even know how I got it. Because yeah. Then this one, it's going to have the red, but it has no apparent link up to the prime stuff at all. So yeah, from here I can kind of work out that the red needs to be a more metallic-y trim color, even though it's not the accent piece. So with my usual color palette, that would be the cyan or pale blue sort of situation. Would usually be what I would use. That's the Lost Woods theme playing off my Manticord. Yes, I have a Manticord despite never playing Octavia. And a full roster of custom songs and all the instruments, go figure. You can see though, if we make that pale blue, we've got a problem going on with the beak if we use that one. Also, it looks a little weird with the tubes here. On the prime one, the blue seems to be the kind of back of the face, which is fine. So if I want to use this one, I have to reconsider that choice. Probably try and make it a white or a gold or orange. Or very dark would be the other option. So let's put that as the dark purple for now. So this is kind of the main material of the whole thing. It's usually where I would often keep my main color, which is going to be purple for my color palette. And this tertiary chunk, that's going to control the hat at the top, so that we've got to be a little careful with. Now, normally I use what's called a harmony palette between the cyan, the blue, and the purple. That said, the opposite kind of contrast to those different colors is going to be either the orange or the green. One trick you can often do with the orange is you can make it brown. And it doesn't stand out as glaringly obnoxious as making it bright orange would. Even though it's still technically like this. This is a little too high contrast. So yeah, the fire palette has some nice dark browns here down for us that we can use. You can use the one up here too. I'm going to stick with that for now. Now this yellow, I think we're going to want to make either something completely neutral or another purple value. Or maybe the blue that's missing. Could actually do that one because it gives kind of a metallic-y look. The back looks a little weird, but we can maybe cover that up with a Sandana. This always looks kind of weird in general. This design's on a few different frames or something very similar. For emissives, this is where I'm going to throw in that green I just mentioned. It's kind of an opposite point. Tricky thing with emissives is even the empty emissive is actually a color. You saw it when I copied them to attachments. So you often have to really fiddle with them to actually get the results you want. Okay, yeah, that red's popping a little too. It's popping a little too much red. We're gonna have to take that down the notch. More into the brown here. What is energy control? The stuff in his little vials. Make that kind of a green too. Green / cyan. Maybe play around with the different helmets a little bit. So yeah, any of these looks like it works out well with the prime skin. I don't like the eyes on this one. If that helmet was just fogged up or something, I'd prefer it. So we'll go with this one. And we can copy the attachment colors over. If we wanted, we could take one of those off. That's a little too ostentatious. Throw that on. We can throw that on. I like some symmetry. That's a Sevagoth Deluxe's fish. Lavos I've got 3 different versions of this tank now, and they basically look identical other than the trim color on one of them. There's this ridiculous thing that I used on site already. Malsberg kind of looks decent. This thing is hard as hell to match with anything. I'm gonna go with Malsber. I like having that forward kind of armored approach. We'll leave his regular tanker because that's his signature thing. Left legs. It actually looks kind of cool. It looks like he's got laces on his boots with those. Trying to think what else might be kind of interesting in here. Coro's always good if you want those tech looks. I use that sort of stuff on my Mag and my Gauss and my Hildren sometimes. Sorex can also work for that. Cyranx is a weird one, right? Oh yeah, they go up on like the hips. I think we check the Prisma ones. No, they get they're picking up the red that we don't want too much of. Emoji is just a standardly kind of good one. It just makes your boots fancy. But I preferred the first one we clicked on, actually. The kind of lace look it's got going on there. It's apparently Mirage Prime signature armor that I've got at some point, so you'd have to get Mirage Prime out, or the Regal IO while Mirage is in Prime Resurgence nowadays. Arterial tubes. What are these? Oh, it's these things. They're a little much, but okay. The other thing we could do is turn that the hat into a green. slightly more unify things. Green or brown, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna stick with brown for now. Ephemeras. I think that's what I originally used on Lavos. Just kind of spilling his alchemical goop all over. Wrapped wings. That's a little much. That's the one that never colors properly. Cerebire can be interesting, but it can also just look kind of like it's half glitched out. Depending where it's particularly sitting. Might go with that one. Some of these I don't always remember what they are. Rocks! Do you like rocks? I guess you could that could be his different elemental ingredients, but yeah, I'm thinking either Seraphire. Yeah, we might go with Seraphire. Might be able to lower the intensity a little on that green. It's energy color, right? Yes. So if I head over to grab me a darker green. Sure, I have a darker green here somewhere. It's forest palette. Don't you wish these were... Are they in alphabetical order? Let's have it say a dumb thing. The dark one's in grenier. I don't know why I keep calling it forest. Alright. The chest, this doesn't look like it will particularly work well with any chest. Having a look, but you might just need to leave a chest off of this one. That's like probably the best of the set. And that's in a bundle anyways. I don't actually own it. Yeah, so we'll keep the chest off. He doesn't have a prime details toggle, eh? Rhino's goofy new horns. I don't think any of these is going to work particularly well because of the hat, but hang on. Yeah, they anchor too far up. We'd want them to go straight. Sorry, we'd want them to go straight down, but they're like sliding down the head instead of where we'd want to attach them, which just looks silly. Okay, that was a Signa. Now a Sindana. Copy the main colors. And this we need to be careful because he's already got a cloak or cape thing going on. Yeah, we probably want something like that goes on top like this, but that hangs down into it. That could work. We'd need to change the red color that's showing up. Not a jetpack. I said not a jetpack. That works to some degree. I just don't like that back pattern, so I want to cover it up. That's going a little extreme. That sort of works with the beak thing, because it kind of looks like feathers. That kind of goes with his looks more like one of his alchemy vials. That might actually be my best bet. That's what I use for Dagoth. It really only looks good if you're riding a horse. This looks good on almost everything, but not on this. Your opinions may vary. Oh yeah, we've got this thing. If he's gonna have those giant tubes, that actually might work. Just need to make this a different color. Alright, so we've got a Lavos. Let's whip him into a Captura to see what he looks like in kind of a real scenario. We'll just go to this Fabrica scene. $17 long video, eh? Remember this wall if you've seen my original Lavos build video? Actually, it might have been over by this one. I think it was in front of this wall. Equip this so we can get the animation. Oh, I bet I didn't equip an animation. I am a silly, silly person. I might actually use the noble animation on him. Yeah, he talks to his snake. I remember this now. Alright, and then we can play with the depth of field. We want him to show, obviously. I'll get the blurring just barely touching the edges. You might have to play around with it or even enter the numbers manually. Really take the exposure down a bit. We can pull it in tighter. Give me the tiniest bit of grain will help the warframe blend in with the background a bit. Then we want a filter. There's a couple tricks you can do with the filter. Like that though, it's just kind of partially catching his arm. We can make it not quite as intense. Okay, the lights. This light is on the back wall. almost entirely and doesn't appear to affect the front much at all. So this would be bouncing off Lavos. So it should be his green light that he's giving off from his backpack. This light from the side is from the sanctum. In the picture, which is orange. Can kind of get weakened. That'll an orange or a brown type thing will suit our contrast best. We don't want to completely wash out our colors though, so we might need to crank the brightness down a little bit. And then the third light is like behind him, I think, or underneath him. Fill that in with the purple. It'll offset the other one a little bit. Then we take the scene light down just a tad. We don't want him to like completely stand out, which is what'll happen if you crank it the whole way down, but okay, hide the panel. We take our screenshot. And there, we're all done. We have a handy fashioned out Lavos with a thumbnail for a video in some future. As this is a little weird experimental video. Something to mix things up, basically. If you do want to see more stuff like these sort of fashion frame tips or anything, of course, drop a like and a subscribe. Consider dropping a comment down below. You can throw in a request if you want me to take a crack at another frame or request a different color palette or theme or something. We'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.